Good afternoon and welcome to the Asian Midday Market Watch. Let's first take a look at how various markets are performing, starting with cryptocurrencies. Now, Bitcoin is at 41,896.7. It's down 1.26%. Ethereum is at 2,843.03. It's down 4.52%. Now, looking across markets across the region, markets in Hong Kong and South Korea are closed today for public holidays. Now, the SGX is at 3,043.08. It's down 0.66%. Bursa Malaysia's FBM KLCI is at 1,525.4. It's down 0.33%. We've got the Nikkei at 29,624.45. It's down 0.72%. The Shanghai Composite is at 3,603.41. It's down 0.29%. The ASX 200 is at 7,309.7. It's up 0.49%. And rounding up the numbers, we've got the Kospi, which is at 3,140.51. It's up 0.33%. Now let's take a look at what experts had to say about market performance in the first half of the day. Now, mainland markets in China fell more than 1% on today's open before bouncing back slightly amid the ongoing Evergrande crisis as markets reopened for trade after a two-day holiday. With global markets selling off earlier this week, investors kept a close watch on the China markets for any fallout surrounding the embattled developer Evergrande. Now, markets in Hong Kong were closed for a holiday, but on Monday, the Hang Seng had plunged more than 3% before paring some losses on Tuesday. Now, according to what DBS said in a note earlier, investors will look for signs of intervention by the government to prevent a disorderly default by property company Evergrande. Now, market turmoil surrounding the developer intensified in past trading sessions as investors interpreted the government's silence on the distressed firm as a lack of official support, unquote. Now, Evergrande shares in Hong Kong had slumped 10.6% on Monday and on Tuesday combined, taking the year-to-date losses to 85%, DBS Bank noted. Now, the investor sentiment may also have been soothed today after Evergrande unit Hengda announced that it would make a coupon payment on its domestic bonds due tomorrow. Now, still questions remain over whether the interest on Evergrande's offshore US dollar denominated bond, also due tomorrow, will be made. Now, the People's Bank of China today injected substantially more liquidity into the markets through reverse repurchase agreements or buying short-term bonds from some commercial lenders, so banks have more cash to lend in hand. Now, this is from data from Central Bank. China also today kept its benchmark lending rate unchanged, with the one-year loan prime rate, or LPR, held steady at 3.85%. The five-year LPR remained at 4.65%. Now, that was largely in line with expectations of traders and analysts in a snap poll who predicted that no change to both the one-year and the five-year LPR rates. Now, this is according to Reuters. Now, moving on to Japan, the Bank of Japan today held steady on monetary policy, keeping its short-term interest rate target at negative 0.1%, while that for the 10-year Japanese government bond yields were kept at around 0%. The Japanese central bank warned that its monetary policy statement that employment and income situation remained weak due to the COVID impact, while private consumption remained stagnant due to sustained strong downward pressure on services consumption. Now, the yen traded at 109.42 per dollar, having strengthened from around 110 against the greenback earlier this week. Now, overnight stateside, the Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 50.63 points to 19,084, while the S&P 500 declined around 0.1% to 4,354.19. The Nasdaq Composite outperformed, rising 0.22% to 14,746.40. Now, looking at rates, currencies, and commodities. Now, investors can look ahead at the policy statement from the US Federal Reserve, which is expected later tonight stateside, for signals on when the central bank would taper its bond repurchase program. Now, the US dollar index, which tracks the greenback against a basket of its peers, was at 93.229 after sliding from levels above 93.3 earlier this week. The Australian dollar changed hands at 0.7251 against an earlier low of 0.7221. Now, oil prices were higher earlier in morning trading, with international Brent crude futures up 0.71% to $74.89 a barrel. US crude futures gained 0.92% to $71.14 per barrel. Now, that's it for the BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. Check out, like, and subscribe to our various platforms. Thank you very much for tuning in.